Okay, so for now, in this video, I will continue with the other subtopics in chapter 1. We start with the definitions of management. So, what is management? There are many definitions discussed by the experts and scholars, but management is convincing people towards achieving goals and objectives as perceived by Mary Parker Follett. So, based on that information, so sometimes management we can define as anything that we use, we manage, we control to make sure what we are aiming or objective can be gained. On the other hand, uh, according to Duff and Marcis 2001, she defines management in a classic perspective as the art of getting things done through people. So, under management concept, to do anything, to control everything, to make sure that you can achieve in terms of what you are aim for, in terms of the goals and so on, it must involve with the people because to control the sums of the activities, to do in terms of the action taken and so on, it must involve with the peoples or human. On the other hand, according to the Stoner, Freeman, and also Gilbert, 1995, they explain that management is the process of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling the efforts of organization members using all other organizational resources to achieve stated organizational goal. Basically, under management, we define management here as the management in an organization. So in organizations, if you have a company, if you forms your own business, to make sure that the activity of your company can be run smoothly, it must involve with the management to make sure the management process is complete, run smoothly. It must involve with the four elements. What are the elements? The first elements are planning, the second one is organizing, and then leading, and the last one is controlling. So under definitions of management, to make it simple, there are 4 points that you must be remember to define management. It must consist of the first point is planning, the second one is organizing, the third one is leading, and the last one is controlling. So that are the 4 important things that you must know to define management. A complete management process should be included together with the 4 elements, which in a simple word, it can be POLC. P stand for planning, O is organizing, L is leading, and the last one is controlling. Okay, so for now we move to measuring managerial performance. How we can manage in terms of the managerial performance. So as a manager, the performance can be measured by looking at the true criteria. Either the performance is effectiveness and efficiency. So the way on how we can measure in terms of the managerial performance is by looking at the how efficient and also how effective that's something that we are done. The most respected writers on management, which is Peter Drucker, put the difference between effectiveness and also efficiency. So what are the effectiveness and also efficiency? Effectiveness. Effectiveness can be defined as achieved when the organization pursues appropriate goals or choosing the right goals. So when your company or organization can achieve in terms of the goal by choosing the right goal, that things is considered as effectiveness. In a simple word, to remember what is effectiveness, you can use the term as doing the right thing. So meaning that to make sure that we achieve in terms of the effectiveness, we must do something right. Where we doing the right thing. For example, the decisions to produce smaller cars such as Kancil, Telisa, and also Myvi for Prodo company is appropriate when the demand for compact car is increased. So meaning that to measure in terms of the effectiveness, when you do something that is the right thing on the right time with support of the demand. So it indicates that the effectiveness that you are conducted. Okay, so now efficiency. So commonly we use the word efficiency. But what is efficiency? Efficiency can be defined as achieved by using the fewest inputs to generate a given output. It is important to minimize the cost of the resources needed to achieve the goal. So, in a simple word, efficiency can be defined as doing the thing right. So, that is a difference between efficiency and also effectiveness. Under efficiency, means that you must do something right. You must make sure that what you are doing is a right thing to do. Okay, for example, Nissan's use only 3 workers and also produce more than 400 body panels an hours, about 25% better than the average at USA domestic auto panel. So meaning that under efficiency, we must make sure what we are doing are correct. Okay, so in this diagram, based on the resources utilization and also goal attainment, so we are looking at the when the company used all their resources, when company used the raw material that the company have, and also what are the goal that they can achieve. So we can measure in terms of the effective and also efficient here. So for example, if the conditions is at the poor situation here, under the resources is poor, meaning that they has limited in terms of the raw material, for example, and then the achievements of the goal is also low. It will indicate that the effective or efficient is not good or properly because goals are not achieved and resources wasted in the process. So meaning that if this condition is happen when the resources is low and also goal attainment is also low, so means that the management process in terms of the effectiveness and also efficiency is also worst thing happen to the company, meaning that that is the situation when it's indicate ineffective and also inefficient. Okay, and then if the condition of resources is good, and the goal attainment is not directly high, in this condition it's considered as the low conditions of the goal. So efficient but not effective, no wasted resources but goal are not achieved. Maksudnya kat sini means that the raw material resources used efficiently, but at the same time the goal is not achieved. So that is efficient but not effective. So in a simple word, to differentiate what is effective and also efficient, effective give the impacts toward the objective, toward what you are wanted to do. So if you can achieve what you are wanted to do, if you can achieve the objective of your organization, it means that you are effective. And then if you can utilize in terms of your resources, in terms of your capital, in terms of your uh, profit and so on, so that is represent efficient. Okay, so to make sure that the effective and also efficient work accordingly in a good movement, so your resources must be high, must be good, and also the your goal attainment also must be high. So that's why you can produce with the something effective and also efficient. But if the condition is here indicates that the resources is poor and goal is high, meaning that that is effective but not efficient. So in a simple word, to make sure that your management performance is effective and also efficient, you must make sure that your resources is utilized well and the goal or objective also can be achieved. Okay, so for now, we move to the management functions or activities or the process of the management. So organization goals consist of 4 goals. The first one is planning, the second one is organizing, the third one is leading, and also controlling. These organizational goals also indicate the management functions, activities, and also process. So if the question asks you to explain what are the management process, what are the management functions, or what are the activities of the management, you can answer these four answer. Now, the first one is planning, the second one is organizing, the third one is leading, and the last one is controlling. So to define what are the difference between the 4 elements will be explained on the other slide. Okay, so at first we start with management functions and also activities with the point number 1, which is under planning. So what is planning? It involves setting goals and strategy and defining the actions necessary to achieve those goals. It is prepared by top level manager who establish the overall goals and strategy. And then manager will develop operational plans and align with and support the overall strategy of the organization. So in a simple word, planning means that at the first step, to make sure that your management process can be done smoothly, you must plan for everything. So of course, for example, if you want to run your own business, before you can open your business, you should plan in terms of what are the activities that you want to do, what are the product that you want to sell, where is the location that you want to set up your business. So meaning that is the examples of planning. We plan for everything what we want to do. Okay, so the next step, next process or activity under management is organizing. So what is organizing? It is determining the tasks to be done, who will do them, and how those tasks will be managed and coordinate. So after you have planned everything, so now under the point of organizing, you should organize. You should also plan a strategy to make sure how you can achieve what you are planning. For example, if you plan to produce in terms of the food product, so you must organize what are the material that you want to use to produce the foods, how many peoples or how many labor that you are need to produce, so how much in terms of the cost and so on. So you organize to make sure what you are planning can be achieved. Organize the members of their work groups and organization. Organization must be structured in light of its strategic and operational goal. It can be responsive to changes in the business environment. Okay, so the third activities is leading. Leading is motivating and directing the members of the organization so that they contribute to the achievements of the goals of the organization. Leading means that um, in organization it must have a leader, a person who lead, who will give the direction, who will come up with decision making, we will solve for the problem. So it must consist of the leading. If your company not consists of the leader, so there is no direction toward your company. So it must have someone who can lead, who can give instruction, we can come up with decision making. So visionary means capable of envisioning the future, sharing that visions and empowering their employees to make the visions a reality. The 3 C's of leadership consist of competence, strong character, and commitment to their community. So under leading here, it's more focusing on who will coordinate, who will lead your company, and so on. And the last point is controlling. It is a process of monitoring the performance of the organization, identifying deviations between plan and actual results, and taking corrective action when necessary. So the last one, after you have planned, after you have organizing, after you have leading, to make sure you can achieve what you wanted to achieve, you must control. The purpose of the controlling is to monitor in terms of the performance, to take some corrective actions if problem happen and so on. So the important function is it provides a method for ensuring that the organization is moving toward the achievements of its goal. So controlling is very important because to make sure that what we are planning is synchronized with what we want to be achieved. Okay, so that's the four functions, activities, or process in management. Also, same as the organizational goals. Now we move to managerial level. So as known in a company or in an organization, it must be a leader or a manager in your company to run or to guide your company or organization. So there are three managerial level that explained in this slide. The first level is under first line managers. The second one is middle managers, and the last one is top manager. So, and last one, besides the managers, to make sure or to help the company in terms of the run the business organizations instead of the managers or the leader. So the last one, we also have operational employees in an organization. So there are two parties involved in the company. The first one is managers, and the last one is employees. And under the manager, there are three types of manager under managerial level. The first one is first line, the second is middle manager, and the third one is top manager. Okay, so what are the duties of the first line manager? It will report to the middle managers, supervise the employees, coordinate the activities, and also involve in a day-to-day operation. So that is first line manager. So basically, first line manager ni such as supervisor, such as senior workers. So that is the first line manager. So next is middle managers. Middle managers represent report to the top management, oversee first line manager, develop and implement activities, and also allocate resources. So middle manager, such as operation manager, financial manager, HR manager in a company. And the last one is top manager, which is the higher levels of the manager is a top manager. Top manager, basically the owner of the company. So that they are the shareholders, they are the capital contributor, they are the owner, they are the founder of the company. So top manager, their task is to set up the objective of the company, scan for the environment, and also plan and make decision. So in a manager level, if you are the workers, if you are the employee, you must know who is your boss, either the first line manager, middle manager, or the top manager. So for the operational employee, basically the manager that deal with the operational employee is the first line manager. And then for the first line manager, their manager is the middle manager, and for middle manager, their boss or their manager is the top managers. Okay, so that is the level or the hierarchy of the managerial level in an organization. Okay, so next we move to the managerial skills and the first line manager or the lower level manager. So what are basically the tasks of the first line manager? It will supervise the individuals who are directly responsible for producing the organizational products or delivering its services. So for example, such as production supervisor, such as line manager, account manager, and so on. Often it is promoted from the rank based on their ability to deliver the product or service to the organization. They ensure the products or services of their organizations are delivered to the customers on a day-to-day basis. So commonly, first-line managers always involve, always keep track, always give direction to the employee. So what are the technical skill conducted by the managerial skill worker and the first line manager? The first one is enable managers to use their knowledge, to use the tools, techniques, and procedures that are specific to their field. Two basic activities consist of managerial individual performance, by motivating and disciplining subordinates and monitoring performance, and then instructing subordinates, training, coaching, and also instructing employee on how to do their job. Okay, so next we move to the middle level manager. So under middle level manager, it will supervise first line manager or staff department such as department head, product manager, marketing manager, finance manager, HR manager. As I mentioned before, as the example, they are selected because they have a strong understanding of the overall strategy of the organizations and a commitment to ensuring that it is implemented well. The primary objective is to allocate sources effectively and manage the work group. So middle level manager is more on human skill. It's involved the ability to work effectively with the members of one work group, must manage group dynamic, encourage cooperation, and resolve conflict. So this level of managers also serve as a license, communicating the needs and issue of their term to other members of the organization and conveying information from other work group based on the unit. So what are the basic activities or the responsibility or the task of the middle level manager? The first one is planning and allocating resources. So they are responsible to plan and allocate some of the resources that needed by the company. Beside that, they also responsible to coordinating in terms of the interdependent groups, and the last one is managing in terms of the group performance. So as the overall explanations of the middle level manager, so these types of manager more focusing on the human skill activities, where they will plan, they will coordinate, and also manage in terms of the group performance. Okay, so next, the top level manager, which is the highest hierarchy of the manager. They will provide in terms of the strategic direction for the organization. In a simple word, what are the examples of the top level managers, such as CEO of the company, such as president of the company, executive vice presidents, general manager, the shareholder. So that is the examples of top level manager, where they have their own vision for the organizations and the leadership skills necessary to guide the organization toward reaching that vision, set the strategic direction, the opportunities and threats that exist in the external environment. So as a top level manager, what they are doing, they will control, they will monitor, they will give directions, they will come up with decision making, they will plan everything, because they are the highest levels of the manager. Okay, more focus on the conceptual skill. Now, where the top level manager task or responsibility is a continuous process, a tremendous amount of information about the both internal and also external environment of the organization. Look at the organization as a whole and understand how separate work groups and departments relate to and affects each other to develop a distinctive personality or culture for their organization. Beside that, they also will develop and maintain the relationship with outside constituents of the organization. So, if you are looking at this part in your slide, it will explain the the responsibility of each types of the manager. So for the last hierarchy of the manager is focused on the teaching, and then for the middle manager is focused on the human, and for the top level manager is focused on the concept. Okay. So for now, under managerial roles. So what's the role as a manager? Either you are at the top level manager, middle level manager, or the lower level of manager. The first one is interpersonal roles. The manager is responsible for managing the relationship with the organizational members and other constituents. So of course, if you is a manager, you must have a relationship with your employee, with your colleague, and so on. The first interpersonal role, the example of interpersonal role is figurehead. So figurehead means that manager must perform certain duties that are primarily ceremonial in the nature. For example, appear at the community function or social event. This is important because to bring your company in front, to make sure that everyone know your company, you should you should make yourself appear to represent your company to the others. Okay, and then next is leader. Manager will ensure that the organization's goals are met. Managers are largely responsible for the success or failure of their organizational units. Okay, and then license, it means working with individual and work group within the organization and in developing favorable relationship with outside constituents. Okay, so that is the three example and the interpersonal roles, meaning that how you can bring yourself to represent your company, to make available to the public to know about your company. You must be a figurehead person, you must be a leader, you must be a license to connect with the others. Okay, so the second managerial role is under informational roles. So based on informational rules, managers are responsible for ensuring that the people with whom they work have sufficient information to do their job effectively. So of course, as a manager, you should have some knowledge to deliver to your subordinate, to your employee, because your subordinate, your employee need some information. So the information where they can get from the manager. So of course, to be a manager, you should have some knowledge. The first one is monitor. Examples of informational roles. The first one is monitor. Scan the internal and external environment of their organization for useful information. And then disseminator. Managers share and distribute much of information they receive as information monitor. So any information that you are use that you are think that is important to share with the other, you should share with the other. And then you also must be a spokesperson. Manager must often communicate information to individual outside their unit and their organization. So of course, as a manager, you should be the spoke person or a person who can represent your company. To represent your company, of course, you must have knowledge and also some information about your company to be shared with the others. Okay, so next we move to managerial roles under decisional roles. So manager process information and reach conclusion. Managers must have decision, so such as entrepreneur, manager initiate project that capitalize on opportunities that have been identified. Disturbance handler, things do not always run smoothly. Manager must cope with the conflict and resolve problem as they arise. And then, for example, dealing with an irate customer, interviewing in a dispute between employee, and then resource allocator. The manager determines which project will receive organizational resources such as financial, equipment resources, and time management. And the last one is negotiator, where negotiation with the employees, suppliers, and also customers, he or she is responsible for all negotiation necessary to ensure that the group is making progress toward achieving the goal of the organization. So that is under decisional roles. Okay, so next we move to the competencies of future leader. To be a leader, to make sure that you can be the best leader, the great leader, the leaders that being loved by everyone. So you should have the great communication with the subordinates or your colleague. Sorry, because the greater communicator is the best leader. And then individual coach, meaning that you should always give some motivation, some encouragement to your subordinate, and then be a problem solver. And then technology master, it is important to have some technology knowledge, become the technology master, because nowadays most of the thing that useful for the company involved with the technology. So now we have some AI in the company, some innovation product with the involvements of the technology and so on. And the last one is the change agent, meaning that you can be a person who can represent your company, can share knowledge, can explain the best things that you can offer from your company to the others and so on. Okay, so that is the requirement or the characteristics that the leader should have to make sure you be the best leader in your organization. Okay, so that's all for chapter 1. So hopefully everyone can understand some of the explanations in chapter 1, and if you have any question, you can discuss back with your lecturers during the tutorial class. Thank you and have a nice day, everyone.